Hey everyone, welcome to episode 152. It's Bucs UK TV. It's festive, although no one can be as festive as Dougie. I'm feeling very obviously I'm in camouflage, so you can't even see me, but Dougie stands out with that Christmas tree. Well done. Hello Tim, hello David.
Evening.
Hi there.
So it wasn't the result we wanted, Dougie, was it?
No, it was again. It was there for the taking. Lot just didn't play well on all three sides of the ball. Some poor coaching. It only got ourselves to blame. And once again, we've made a rookie or an inexperienced quarterback look like a world beater. I don't know how we manage to do it every time. It's a talent, but we need to sort that out.
So yeah, a lot you've put out there to unpack. Tim, first of all, Dougie's saying it was winnable, and he also mentioned coaching.
Um, Winnable, yes. I thought we were flat from the word go. It was almost like, well, we just turned up, we beat the Cowboys, we beat Cooper Rush, and we were slow from the start, the same as the Chargers last week. But no way with that. The changes halftime, just didn't work. The change that went against us for me was Bucky Irving didn't touch the ball for the last 10 minutes.
Mm.
What's going on there? That's coaching.
So let's stick with that then. Stick with the
So
offensive side. I mean, David, Bucky, did we abandon the run?
Well, we did, yeah. We were. I mean, that last sort of half of the fourth quarter, obviously, we needed two
Hmm.
scores in quick time. So, yeah, I mean, it was inevitable that they revert back to passing. I think the real problem with the offense is those very early missed catches, two particularly by Sterling Shepherd, and then one on the sideline by sort of McMillan. And it just killed any early momentum. It just stopped us, and
Hmm.
we just
Hmm.
couldn't
Hmm.
get a foothold in the game. Then you come back all the way through. We just kept shooting ourselves in the foot with stupid flags as well and giving sort of third down and longs. We just never really gave ourselves a chance.
Yeah, and then I've got to say it, Dougie, the forum was not a fan of the NFL refereeing setup after last night. It's always easy to blame the refs. It's the same. You get as many rubs either way, I'm sure. But things like, the interception, the fumble, it was, I mean, I don't think necessarily there was a call wrong, but maybe it wasn't without controversy, was it?
No, so I unfortunately fell asleep during the game, so I've been relying on the highlights and the comments of others. I've not seen much about the bad decisions if there were any. They seem to have just been us at the turnovers. Again, turnovers kill us, and we don't seem to be able to create them. That's why you might end up falling back on blaming the officials, but we've only got ourselves to blame if we keep giving the ball away and don't keep getting it back.
Yeah, I think it's a fair point.
yeah, 4 turnovers in the game. You don't win many games with those. I know the Richard one right at the end was just about as bizarre a turnover as I've ever seen. The interception, I thought that was a really good interception. I thought that guy played that really well. You
Yeah.
can blame the receiver maybe for not slowing down and whatever, but when you lose that turnover battle, we're not going to get anywhere. It was just disappointing. I thought our offensive line run blocking really good. Our
I
pass
completely agree.
our pass blocking was an E minus at best.
Mm, mm.
At one point, I remember seeing Baker run on his goal line with about 5 defenders chasing him as our offensive line was sort of watching.
Yeah, when Baker Mayfield's the second, we got 134 yards rushing, 42 of which were Baker. Yeah, you don't really, that's not what you want to see. I mean, it's great when he can turn something into a positive, but yeah, he was running for his life there, wasn't
Mm.
I mean, I do think Baker again played his heart out, and to be honest, I think he was just let down with everybody around him
he?
all the way right to that last play with White. I mean, how he managed to sort of hold them off and get the ball out to White. Um, and then just to let him fumble it was just like unforgivable, really. And it was just he seemed to be let down by those offensive players all around him all night. Unfortunately, I don't think you can put that one on Baker.
I
No,
guess,
it was a tough game. Watching him run, the heart he runs with, the way he keeps plays going. Did he leave the pocket too early a couple of times? Maybe he was a bit gun shy a couple of times, but I would never lay the blame. If you want somebody to play with heart, we've got a quarterback who'll give you that every time. And you put up with some of the issues that come with it.
Yeah, and you say the interception is not his fault. He completed, 3/4 of his passes, 2 touchdowns. He did the job.
Yeah, I thought he had a decent game. Bucky Irving started well. It was just we started slowly, and we didn't really heat up at all, really, through the game. We had moments, but certainly not spells in the game where we were dominant.
I mean, glass half full, 26-24. It was a close game. We did have the ball on a final series, and it could have been that we marched down the field when we had some time on the clock because the timeouts were used relatively sensibly. I don't agree entirely, but we had they engineered enough time on the ball, so it could have happened. I guess let's switch over to the defensive side because we really want to start talking about playoff chances and the Panthers and move on. But it feels like Dougie, it felt like the second quarter we fell asleep again. But the defense in years past, we've always said Bucs ball has been yes to the defense. God, if only we could score some points. And now we're scoring some points, but we're not stopping them, are we, on the other side?
No, but we did a great job stopping the run.
Yeah.
Make them one-dimensional, make them throw the ball, but then we didn't seem to know how to stop the throw. There was so many big yardage plays for the Cowboys. We just didn't seem to know how to cover, and then when we got the ball, we couldn't tackle them. So many slip tackles. The secondary, and this will go back to the coaching as well. It's got to be part of that. We've got a defensive head coach, and it's our defense is letting us down. I don't know how we need to fix that.
I was delighted to. I mean, obviously, hope CD Lamb's fine, but the fact that he was at the game for as long as he was absolutely a result because he got 105 yards in what felt like the first half. And like you said, he had a 52-yarder. There was a 21, a 29, a 26. There was a lot average 11.2 yards a catch. When actually, we made it look like hard work. I think you're right.
And he only had one arm.
If he hadn't gone out the game, I don't think we'd have still been in it towards the end.
Yeah, it's a shame we can't seem to. Dougie mentioned it earlier, and I've been to many games where we lost to backup quarterbacks. I don't know what it is with us. Do we think we can just almost beat them by turning up? I'm not quite sure. I still got issues that we don't get it. Apart from Cansey and Vea, where does pressure and David blitzing behind Vea? Where does pressure come from in this team? From the edges. Diaby's good against the run. You very rarely see him at the quarterback now. And Joe Tryon, well, we'll just leave that gentleman alone.
But you're right. It feels like, although we haven't been shy in putting draft picks into those sorts of areas. Like you say, JTS, DRB.
Braswell.
Exactly, yeah. We've not managed to produce a Mac or a Rice or someone that we want like that, have we?
I mean, last year we struggled with getting to the quarterback. Obviously, sort of the likes of Shaq was ending, and he just didn't have a great season with everything going on around him and that. But we still made, I think, 26 sacks last year. We're only on 18 now. We're going backwards on that. We're just not getting there, are we?
No, if Fair and Cansey don't get there, really, there's nobody. Levante David's 34, running around like a 24-year-old. But how long will his legs stay under him?
I mean, I think that's the most concerning thing is our best defensive player is 34.
Yeah.
Who on earth on that defensive side is stepping up?
And you're right. If Vea's the one getting to the quarterback, he is not the quickest. He's definitely the strongest. But it shows, doesn't it?
Yeah, I got to say, I did love Vea's tackle on the tight end towards the end of the game, where
suplex.
It just looked like a mountain of a man, which he is, taking down a little boy, and that boy wasn't small.
Yeah. For me, Vea was the player of the game. His heart.
He was excellent. Excellent. For a big guy, how can a big guy like that move that well?
Yeah, fantastic. And special teams, in a way, there was no mistakes from the punting. The kicking did what it needed to do. There's this chap called Brian Anger punting for the Cowboys. I thought he was quite good. We could do with someone like that.
Yeah, wish we'd signed him a while ago. I thought our punter did all right, actually.
Yeah, he did.
He dropped him inside the 20. The one good punt, unfortunately, where Decker stood on the line.
Yeah.
That was drop that to 2 yard line was perfect. So he wasn't horrendous, let's put it that way. And Chase, I wrote down by it was Chase.
Yeah.
We just got to take him as automatic for whatever he does.
Yeah, but I mean, their field goal kicker hitting multiple over 50 yards in itself is a killer as well. That's
Yeah.
demanding.
He is. I think he's potentially the best kicker in the NFL.
Yeah,
He's fantastic.
Yeah, it shortens the scoring field for them.
Yeah.
And and he's not short over nearly 60 yards, and he's not just squeaking them over. So it's just we had to stop them, but
in a way, if those 3 points were 7 points, then the score line would have been a lot worse. So so I think glass half full, and also I think glass half full. Let's start to move on to talk about the next game. I thought we would get. There was one game in this season we were still going to lose. I just thought it was going to be the Chargers game. So I thought we'd beat the Cowboys but lose to the Chargers, and actually it's the other way around. So potentially, I mean, Dougie, we're still on track. We could still make the playoffs. This isn't the sky's not falling in.
No, it's obviously out of our hands. There's two, which I didn't realize until researching earlier. There's still two ways we can make the playoffs, regardless of the outcome of the Falcons.
We need to beat the Commanders, and
If the Commanders lose their next two and we win our next two, then we're in. And obviously, if we win our next two and Atlanta lose one, then it's back in our hands. Divisional matchups, anything can happen. I'm quite glad the Panthers got a win because that might take away some of their hunger, possibly. I don't know if I'm
or give them,
right way, but
or means that hopefully they're not going to roll over. I guess because we don't want them to roll over for their other game.
But no, you never know in the division, and we always seem to struggle against the Panthers.
And you just know that last game of the season, the Saints will have nothing to play for apart from ruining our season.
No, and it's my birthday as well. They're going to ruin my birthday.
It's tough. We are in a deepish hole by here. We're relying on a lot of other things to go our way. I'm really hoping Washington beat Atlanta next week. That's got to be our way in. When I look at it, they've got Atlanta and they've got Dallas. We've got the Saints and Panthers. They'll win one of those games to go through. So our way is through the division. So really hoping they win the Atlanta game next week. And then we need the Panthers to do us a favour really on the last day as well, I think.
Absolutely right. So, Tim, what do we need to do our side of the deal? The Panthers, they won last week against a Cardinals team. That's not bad, 36-30, they put up some points. They conceded some points. But actually, last time we played them, we were talking more about the anemic offense and where were the points going to come from. And actually, turns out, Bryce Young, I think they've said he's going to see the year out, haven't they? So, he's got nothing to lose and everything to learn.
Yeah, I still don't think they're convinced he's the answer. The key is to put the game in his hands to make him beat you. So you take, I've been really impressed with Chuba Hubbard this year. Yeah. He's been that offense out there. Him and, we talked about 34-year-old Lavonte David. Adam Thielen must be about 60 by now. And he's still doing the business. That's really their offense, those two players at this moment, especially Hubbard. So take Hubbard out of the game and force Bryce Young to try and beat you. And then we'll get some pass rush from JTS and Braswell for a game, I hope.
Do you agree, David?
Yeah, I mean, it is really down to those two, Hubbard and
Thielen. Yeah.
Thielen. But that's typical Bucs, isn't it? When we know we've only got to defend one or two people, they always still get open or make plays. So, game plan's got to be key for us this week. But, if we can stop the run, then we should have a better chance. And I think, like we said on the last game, I think we went into that game thinking this is going to be an easy win. They know that this is on the line now. I think that is another, if not a bit too late, wake-up call for them that not every game is easy.
And then, Dougie, on the other side of the ball then, obviously with that the Panthers defense. Again, they're giving up points, but I think they're not they're contesting balls and they're playing tight. So what do we have as the Bucs have to do to score on them and keep the right side of the scoreboard?
Keep the ball. That's it. Just
Mm,
stop giving the ball away. If we keep doing everything else we're doing, keep going with that run play early, establish that, gives us the option later on to start
mm.
throwing it about. But yeah, start off with the run, get Bucky involved early, and just hold on to the ball.
And
Yeah.
what do you think's happening about the second quarter these days? It feels like the second quarter is a bit of a bugbear of ours.
Yeah, maybe they start to figure us out a bit, and we're not reacting. We're putting a pin in it. Let's talk about it at halftime. We need to maybe adapt quicker, have those conversations on the sideline rather than waiting for the dressing room.
Yeah.
I think a lot of it is probably the first 10 or 15 offensive players are scripted. They're ready to go out there. And then when they get through that stint of scripted calls, then it takes some time to work out how to play the game.
I still think we just very much too slow starting. We don't try to stretch the field early. We just don't come. You look at the Chargers game. We played really, really well, but look at the start of that game, and we weren't.
Yeah, the second quarter was abysmal again. Yeah.
We came out yesterday or overnight, slow again. We can't do that, even against the Panthers and the Saints. Two backup quarter. You've got Bryce Young, who's been a backup and on the bench, and then we'll play Spencer Rattler. This is, as Dougie said, we don't shape up well. So we come out fast and we score early, which is what we're not doing at the moment. I know we scored 6 or 7 first drives, but then we go to pieces for a bit.
We need to score first. We're 0-6 when the opposition scores first.
That's a killer stat, isn't it?
There's a killer one, yeah.
And at least it's not prime time. We're 0-4 on prime time this year, so it's not prime time again.
Yeah, prime time killed us this year. But a couple of 1 o'clock games, we've got no late nights. We can really.
We've still not found out the kickoff time for the last game of the season, have we? The Saints.
Well,
it's 6 o'clock, I saw.
Has that been named? Okay.
I don't know if that's confirmed, but the first time I saw it today was 6 o'clock.
Yeah, I don't think it is at the moment. I think
if the playoffs are on the line, you could see that being a game they want to be prime time.
Let's get through next week first. We'll worry about that then.
It's a very fair point. It's a very fair point. And coming back to that play calling and the scripting, obviously there's been a lot of buzz around the league about Cohen potentially being a head coaching candidate. I mean, David, obviously, we all want our coaches to succeed, but we also don't want him to leave. But also, it seems like he's still learning as a play caller, isn't he?
Yeah, I think he is. Obviously, we do not want him to leave. But whether he's ready for a head coaching role with us or another team, I'm not really sure of at the minute. I think he would do well to continue serving his learning career at the Bucs for a couple of years, personally, as offensive coach.
I think if you've got Baker, if you've got Bucky, if you've got potentially, obviously, Godwin hopefully coming back, who knows coming back when, but certainly next year, Evans, Godwin, that's an exciting place to be an offensive coordinator. I feel like if you're going to be taking a head coaching stint, it's going to be someone with a high draft pick. That could be interesting, but it's not going to have the same pieces in play, I would have thought. There's got to be the attraction of, coming out and winning something hopefully first.
Yeah, well, you look how Canales struggled early on.
Yes.
That should be one of the warnings to say, do I really want to take a job on this early?
Yeah.
But, how many, you've got to look at how many chances do these guys ever get of being a head coach? Yeah. So are you going to jump the first one you get, whether it's in Las Vegas or Jacksonville, wherever it might be? New York Jets could be the killer of a career.
Dallas.
Because you could argue with the same, potentially it's like Raheem Morris 2.0 potentially, isn't it?
Yeah.
Head coach a little bit too young, and you're right. Actually, by taking the first chance, it actually makes the second chance even further away.
Yeah.
Down the line, because he's only just really come back, and again, you could argue how well he's doing, but I think he's doing well. I think there aren't many jigsaw pieces he's got with him at the Falcons, and I think he's his side of the bargain. I think he's doing quite well, but yeah, but obviously, hopefully not too well this week.
If
No,
um,
no.
if we miss the playoffs, do you think there's a head coach role at Tampa to be sought?
Oh, we have this discussion every year for the last 4 years. It's
Yeah,
hard to know, isn't it?
Let's worry
potentially.
about that if it happens.
Yeah, potentially.
I think if you win your division title and if you make the playoffs, I think it's a fool that would get rid of a head coach that's achieving that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think if we don't make the playoffs, might be a more of a discussion to be had.
I feel like
Oh,
it's like look at the Cowboys. When you've got and they're not doing necessarily well. They're making the playoffs every year and they were losing every time, and they kept chopping and changing and hasn't led to any success, has it?
yeah.
But I think
The way to find out the way forward is go to the
Yeah.
Steelers, ask Mike Tomlin and Bill Cowher what makes it work up there, because they've already had 3 head coaches in about 40 years.
I mean, I think there's a different view from outside the Bucs to inside the Bucs. The fan
Mm.
base is very iffy about Todd Bowles because externally he doesn't present much of a personality.
Mm.
Um,
But yet you
but
hear great things
internally, the
about him.
players seem to have his back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But on the flip side to that, we still have the same weaknesses in our team, like a soft secondary. So,
But it could be that they've been, bringing in the pieces for the offensive side of the ball, knowing that, I can keep it going. Don't worry, I'll nail it down somehow,
Yeah.
We never know
We'll
what's
keep our
going on
fingers
inside.
crossed. We'll keep believing.
Yeah.
absolutely.
So money where your mouth is time. I want some score predictions. What is Santa going to be bringing us? Well, Santa will have been and gone by that point, obviously. Tim, we'll start with you. How do you think this is going to shake down?
Yeah, you'll bring us a win. Close to start with, but then we'll pull away to something like 28-17, something like that.
Yeah. I think that's pretty close. Actually, I had 28-14. I think Bucks win. David?
I had 35-17 at the Bucs.
Oh, that's we've done lots of points in our stockings. We like that.
Got to get the
Yeah.
ball to Mike a lot. Got to get them yards in.
He's not done bad, did he? So he had 69.
69.
That wasn't what we wanted. Something in the 80s, didn't
85,
we?
didn't he?
But yeah, so he's got a bit more work to do. So just stay
Two home
healthy, Mike.
games against two teams that we
Yeah, 200
should be able
yards will
to.
get him there.
Dougie, score prediction for you?
Yeah, about the same. 28-15, I'm thinking.
Yeah. Okay. But a Bucks win. That's good. We're all on the right side of the ball.
Oh,
And I
yeah.
guess, and just finally then, one player that's going to be the turning point or the decision making for this game with the Panthers. Who's the one that's going to step up or make the difference or seal it for us, Tim?
This is Mike Evans's big game to get him towards 1,000 yards.
Yeah.
The 150-yard game again. This will be the second one in the last couple of weeks.
David, for you?
Yeah, same here. Feed the mic at the minute.
Feed the mic. Dougie, you can't be Mike.
Yeah.
I'm banning it. You got to pick someone else.
Yeah, no, I agree with them, but I think Bucky again. He's a slippery little so and so, and he'll be the reason that Mike can get those big plays because we'll be battering them on the ground first.
Oh, I think I'm going to break my own rule. For me, it's the secondary. We haven't talked a lot about the secondary, but I think the front seven are going to do the best they're going to do, and I just feel like there were some plays where yesterday where it was like 3rd and 4, and both cornerbacks, like one cornerback was 8 yards off and the other was 12. It's like that's not what I want to see us playing. So I want to see in a more aggressive secondary. Maybe that's play calling, maybe that's personnel, maybe that's the situations we find ourselves in. But I just want more contested balls. What the Cowboys did with that interception and other things, they were up there and jostling for the ball. I'd take a couple of yellow flags for DPI if it means that the receivers are thinking twice about what they're having to do. So that would be my take. Okay, well there you have it. At this point in the year, season's greetings, Merry Christmas, whatever you're celebrating. Hopefully it's celebrating a Bucks win as well. Thank you for sticking with us for the year. We have lots more to come. We hope that there are at least 3-4 more podcasts to come because that would mean a nice post-season run. But yeah, Merry Christmas. And as ever, Go Bucs.
Go Bucs.
Go
Go Bucs. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.